Are you still manually searching through Google Maps, copy-pasting business names, phone numbers, and trying to find leads? What if I told you there's an AI-powered way to automate that entire soul-crushing process, building a lead-generating machine that works while you focus on, actually running your business? Well, today I'm showing you exactly how to build an AI agent for Google Maps lead scraping. So no more manual grind. Let's get to work. Hello everyone, I'm Adnan, and if you are new here, I explore the world of AI automation. My mission is to show you how AI automation systems can cut your costs, save you massive amounts of time, and ultimately boost your profits. I basically help businesses leverage this incredible technology. Alright, let's be real. The lead generation grind, especially when it involves manually scraping Google Maps, it absolutely sucks. You are stuck in this endless loop of scrolling, clicking, copy-pasting. The data you get can be inconsistent, and worst of all, it takes hours away from the real work you should be doing, which is talking to clients, closing deals, strategic thinking. It's a massive time drain, and frankly, it's not the best use of your skills. But guess what? There is a better way, and that is automation. Today, we're building an n8n plus Apify lead generation bot. You can think of n8n as our automation brain. It's the platform where we'll build the workflow, the logic that makes everything run. And Apify, that's our Google Maps data source, is the key that unlocks all that valuable business information without us having to lift a finger manually. So, what exactly is Apify? Imagine a marketplace, but instead of physical goods, it's packed with pre-built actors. And these actors are essentially ready-to-use software tools. Many of them are powerful web scrapers that you can use without writing a single line of traditional code. For our build today, we're tapping into their Google Maps Scraper actor. This thing is designed to go out and pull business names, phone numbers, websites, addresses, review counts, all that good stuff directly from Google Maps. It's like having a dedicated data gathering robot on your team. So more on this later. Now let's talk about the purpose of this AI agent. Why are we building this? First, automate lead generation. The core goal is to eliminate that painful manual process of hunting for business leads on Google Maps. Set it and let the agent do the work. Second, target specific niches. This isn't just random scraping. You can run location-based searches like dentists in Austin, lawyers in San Diego. This gets you hyper-relevant results. Third, lay the groundwork for scale. While I'm keeping today's build focused on the core n8n and Apify connection, you can absolutely integrate things with Google Sheets to automatically store and organize your leads. Imagine a sheet that just populates itself, or even send data to your CRM. The potential to scale your outreach is huge. We're building that foundation here. And finally, this is built for SMB prospecting. This is ideal for agencies looking for clients or any small to medium-sized businesses that wants to build a robust lead pipeline without investing in a ton of extra tools or hiring more people. One workflow, endless leads. That is the vision. So what does this AI agent, this automated workflow, actually bring to the table for your business? Let's break down the value. First of all, massive time savings. This is the big one. So no more manually copying data from maps, hours back in your week. Then laser targeted leads. You find businesses by specific industry, location, or custom search terms. Highly relevant. Then consistent pipeline. You can schedule these workflows to run daily, weekly, or monthly, ensuring a steady flow of new prospects. Affordable at scale. So Apify uses pay-per-run or pay-per-result pricing model, which can be very cost-effective, especially when you consider the time saved. You can scale your outreach without massively scaling your costs. The Google Places crawler by Compass we looked at is around $4 per 1,000 places scraped, which is a pretty amazing value. Then, ready-to-use data. The information you get is structured, and as we discussed, you can easily integrate this with Google Sheets or your CRM to send these leads straight to your sales team. So ready for action. Essentially, you're building a lean, scalable, often no-code or low-code engine that's ready to plug right into your outbound system. Okay, currently we're inside n8n and we can start our build. So at first, we can create a new workflow. And we can name our workflow. Google Maps Lead Scraper. Alright. I can move myself there. Okay, so we need a trigger. I'm going to add a chat trigger here. Then we'll be adding our AI agent node, which will be the brain of this whole automation. Okay, I'm going to give the prompt later. At first, for any AI agent, you'll need LLM model for acting as the brain of the agent, and I'm going to add my model here. So make sure you have the API key for your desired chat model. I already have connected my OpenAI API key here, and if you are not connected yet, you can click on this button, create new credential, and add your credentials. So from the list, I can select any available OpenAI models, and I'm gonna go with GPT-4o Mini because frankly it's the most cost-effective one. Alright, so there goes our OpenAI chat model, and we can add a simple memory here, otherwise the agent won't remember our chat or whatever we typed in previously. So context window length, we can make this 10 or even let's say 15. No worries. There goes our simple memory, and we can actually paste in the agent prompt now. As you can see from this document, I have already written everything so that the video stays a little bit shorter, hopefully. So of course you can pause the video and read everything, and I'm going to explain everything as well, so no worries there. So this will be our main agent prompt, and for every prompt you always should include a role to the agent. It helps to provide better results and utilize the LLM model, whatever LLM model you are using. It helps to get much better outputs. Alright, for knowing more, you can check out my prompt engineering videos. I have many of them in my channel, and you can learn a lot from those videos. Alright, so you are a highly efficient lead generation assistant. We are assigning this role to our agent, specializing in identifying, ranking, and organizing business leads. Your primary function is to interact with users and to understand their lead generation needs, utilize the lead finder tool, which we'll be setting up later on, and present the ranked results. So the core capabilities: understand user requests for business leads, extract necessary parameters like business type or category, location, and optionally the number of results for the lead finder tool. Of course, you can add more parameters here. I'm going to explain what's the consequence of adding more parameters if you need that, and what's the consequence of that in the actual data scraping. Well, we visit the Apify store later on. Alright, so for now we're just sticking with business type or category, location, and optionally the number of results. So then utilize the lead finder tool to fetch lead data. The tool returns leads already ranked by the lead score. So we'll be adding a node later on to reduce some load from the LLM engine. Then it will present the ranked list clearly. Alright, so we provided some workflow and strict guidelines. You can pause the video and read all of this. I'm not going to read that. So you can we can focus on this part here. Parameter extraction crucial. So after the agent receives our chat request, it will extract 3 essential parameters that will be sending to our Apify scraper. First will be business type, second will be location, and third will be number of leads. Exactly in this format. So Alright. Then once you have determined values for the 3 parameters, you must call the lead finder tool. You must provide the following arguments to the tool. So we'll be setting up the arguments fields there later on. Then awaiting tool response and processing results. Remain in waiting state until the lead finder tool results returns its data. You'll see it takes some time to scrape data. Alright. So then we provide some instructions to present the data in a nice manner. Okay, done. So we can copy all of this, copy, then we can come into the AI agent node, source for prompt, currently selected connected chat trigger node. We're going to change that to define below. Then we are going to paste in our prompt. If you face trouble reading all this in this short window, you can click this button here, so it will open up the enlarged window here, so you can read properly everything. We just copy pasted from our doc. Okay, from here, this section, if you don't understand what is this, let me just explain. This is the dynamic entry for chat input. So for example, let's say we have nothing here. If we, maybe I should move myself here. If you type in something, hey or something, now the agent node has received the input from the chat in this manner. So if you click here, of course, to include the chat input as dynamic entry, you should select this expression, not the fixed. Alright, so currently in the expression, and we provided the conversation history context. Otherwise, the agent won't remember what he discussed with us in earlier messages. Alright, so there goes, our prompt is added. Now it also remembers the conversation history, and it will save everything in the simple memory node. Now we can add a tool to our AI agent. If you click here, then we are going to call n8n workflow tool. We are going to use this one. Alright, so we're going to name this tool. If you remember the agent prompt, we typed in like this, so I'm just using that. So the name of our tool is the lead finder, and we have to provide a description when to call this tool and what output inputs that it should provide the tool. So I have also written this earlier. I have already built this tool earlier and experimented it successfully, so we can keep our video shorter. So the agent should call this tool to find business leads, and you must provide the business type, location, and optionally the number of leads. So defaults to 5 if not specified by these. Are also provided a default number of leads here. Okay, so then we have to choose the workflow that we are going to call with this tool here. So for that, we can actually first create that workflow here. I'm going to click here, then we're going to add a trigger, and we're going to select this trigger when executed by another workflow. Alright, so here you can come here, and then we have to specify what kind of inputs that this workflow should receive from the parent workflow through this tool here. Okay, so we have to specify the inputs. So we are going to select define using fields below, and we are going to add some fields here. Okay, so where we will get these fields, if you come here, we have already named our variables like this. You can choose anything you like, so I'm keeping this format. So we have first business type, location, and number of leads. Business type, location, number of leads. Okay, so you can come here, you can add fields. You must maintain the case matching. If it's capital, you should use capital, and if it's small, you should keep the small letters. So first one is business type, and the type should be string. That's okay. The next one was location. The type is string. The third one was number, capital OF, capital LEADS, number of leads. Let me check quickly. Yeah, this was in number format, number of leads here. Okay, so all set. Now what we are going to do, I'm going to click this button, execute step. Okay, you're going to click save. Then if we come here, and now we can actually select the workflow that we want to call with this tool. So from list, yes, from this list, I'm to click here. Alright, so our sub workflow lives in this parent workflow, right? This is the workflow that we are currently in, Google Maps Lead Scraper. I'm going to select this, and it will automatically fetch the workflow inputs from the sub workflow. Cool. Now where we will define how the input fields will be filled. Okay, so instead of manually inputting the format of the inputs, we can select this button here, let the model define this parameter. So our AI agent will automatically fill the input fields in its own. Of course, we will check if it's working, because we can achieve this because our prompt was pinpoint perfect. And if you can scroll down here, you must provide the following arguments to the tool: business type, the exact string value; location, the exact string value; number of leads, the exact number value that you determine. So it will automatically fill up those input fields. Now let's give it a test run to see if it's sending the inputs properly or not. Hey, can you find me 5 plumbers in New York? Unfortunately, I couldn't find any because we haven't set up the tool properly yet, but I'm just testing if the output format is correct. Yeah, so it has properly inputted all the parameters on its own. Okay, so cool. Now we can as we have properly set up our lead finder tool, we can actually build that. So to the next step, now what we are going to do here, we are going to add basic LLM chain here, or alternatively you could also add OpenAI chat model through this manner. Is the same. Alright, so you're going to select your OpenAI account here, resource text, alright, operation message model, alright, and from list I'm going to choose as usual GPT-4o mini. Alright, or we have to type in some prompt for this node here, and I have already written that. Let me explain everything in a bit. Let me just first copy paste here. Okay, so what do I mean by these things? Based on the following details: business type, JSON business type. So these 3 data will come from this node, which in fact received those data from this tool, and this tool received those data from the agent, right? So the everything of the a lead finding request, the agent will send that to the lead finder tool. It will send that to this node, and this node will send the data to this agent and this LLM node here. So after that, after receiving that data, it needs to return only a JSON object in this exact format. So why do we need that JSON object in this exact format? Because as we will see in the next minute when we check out the Apify tool section, it requires the HTTP body to be sent like this, in this JSON body manner. Okay, so if you don't send the data in this format, our tool won't be able to run properly. So here let me explain what these things mean. Include web results, we are not using that function of the scraper, although it can be possible. Then location query, we injected our location here. Max scroll places per search, which will be the number of leads, we pasted that here. Maximum number of images 0, we are not searching any images, although you could do that. Maximum leads enrichment records, we are not touching that. Scrape contacts, true, we are going to scrape contacts, otherwise we won't be able to get the contact information. Then scrape place detail page, true, yes, otherwise we won't find the address details. Then search strings array, which will be the business type. So what kind of businesses are we looking for? Dentists, plumbers, etc. Skip close spaces, false. So we are not in touch, we're not touching all of those. Done. So it will provide a nice JSON output. Now we can configure, when to send that data to our Apify tool, we're going to use HTTP request node here, and I'm going to set up everything after I show you how the Apify scraper actually looks like. Okay, currently we're in the Apify store here, and there are, as you can see, you can explore 5,000 plus pre-built actors for your scraping and automation projects, and also you can build your own. So this is a nice platform. So cool. We are only going to use the Google Maps Scraper, this one. So I've already worked with that, as you can see here. I'm going to click on that. Okay, now we are inside the Google Maps Scraper. Let me just give the description quickly. It can search, it will charge you $4 per 1,000 places scraped, and you can actually search with all these parameters. You can search by location, search terms, number of places to extract, language. You can add additional search filters and categories, although it will charge you more based on how many extra parameters you are adding to the search. So yeah, the more you want, the costlier it will get. You can there are many add-ons here, reviews, images. So we're not going to touch that. We are keeping our simple, just the location, number of leads, and the search term. If we come here in the JSON body, so remember what we instructed the previous LLM node to give, that it should give JSON formatted output. So we actually wrote that prompt following this JSON format that is specified already for the actor. Okay, so let's move on. So how we can integrate this actor and call this actor from our n8n automation. If you come here into integrations, if we scroll down, and we are going to use API endpoints like every other tool. So there are many options here. First one is run actor synchronously, synchronously and get dataset items, get actor, get list of alright. There's loads of things here, but we are going to select this one here, run actor synchronously and get dataset items. So it will run the actor and wait for it to finish the post payload including its content type header is passed as input to the actor, usually application such JSON. And the HTTP response contains the actor's dataset items, while the format of items depends on specifying dataset items format, whatever. So the main function of this thing is that it will wait for the scraping to be finished properly, then only it will send the output back to our n8n automation agent. So, and the amazing thing is your authorization token is already included in the URL in this format. Upon copying, it will be automatically added to the URL. And remember guys, it's a post method. So I'm going to copy this URL and then head back to our n8n automation. Okay, now we can add our HTTP request node. So we're going to paste the URL here, and as you can see, the authentication ID is automatically added to the last. The method was post, no authentication needed, no headers needed. Of course, we need to send a body, and we're going to click using JSON, and we are going to select alright. So how we'll input the data? We can do a test run from here. We are just doing a test run. So after our LLM step here, code node, after our LLM node here provides the whole thing in a JSON file only, which will be this portion here. What we can do, we can come here and we can just paste the JSON data here, and automatically the field will be populated by our ready-made JSON data, and this will be ready for consumption of the tool. Okay. Alright, so now as our HTTP request node is set up properly here, we can add something here. So we will add a code node here, and we are going to add, let me explain why I am doing this. I just pasted the code here. So what this thing will do, after the Apify returns the scrape data, there won't be any lead score attached to the data. So I provided a simple code here, which is a JavaScript code, and it checks some predefined metrics. Of course, you can tweak these things to assign lead score to every lead, so that after scraping all of them, it can rank them, and you can contact with the leads that are most likely to convert to customers, and hopefully you reduce the time wastage. Okay, so what things we measured: if there's a phone number, it will add some points. If there's a website, it will add some points. If it is an address in the map, it will add some points. Sometimes the address aren't available properly, so if it also accounts the reviews count. If the lead has reviews more than 500, it will add 25 points. Greater than 100, at 15 points. Less than, greater than 10, it will add 5 points. So like this. So great. This will be our, we can name this something like lead scoring. Okay. So we name this node lead scoring. Done. Next up, we'll add another code node, because our Apify scraper will return the data in a jumbled up manner. Alright, so it won't be nice looking. After I'll show you how the output looks. So what this code node will do, it will trim everything and just keep only the relevant things, so that it makes the whole thing easier for the LLM to consume later on, and hopefully reduce the token uses as well. So this will be our data trimming node, and of course I have prepared the code early on. I'm just going to copy that. Okay, so or this node will just trim everything down to only name, phone, website address, rating, reviews, and lead score, as you can see. Data trimming, we can rename that. Bam, done. Next up, I'm going to add another code node here. In fact, we could use another LLM node here, but I'm trying to keep the whole automation flow as much cost effective as possible, and the less you use an AI model, AI large language model, the better, because then you can hopefully reduce the amount of tokens that you need to use, and it can grow exponentially if you don't monitor properly. So this tool, what this code node will do, it will automatically sort the leads based on the lead score that we assigned to each lead in our previous steps. So this node will automatically sort the leads based on the lead score. So I also have the code ready. I'm going to paste that here. So input items are from code 1, basically means from the data trimming node. So after data trimming node results in JSON body in this fashion. So we want to sort these items based on the lead score in descending order. Of course, you can tweak these things according to your line. And these are the nodes of our code. At first, extract the JSON part for each item with this line. Then we can sort the leads array. You can pause the video and read these things. Okay, done. We're almost at the end. Time to add our last step here, which is I'm going to add another code node here, and this time it will so what we're doing here with this node is we'll sort we got the sorted lead data from the previous node, and now what we'll do, we'll combine everything in a clean array and send that array back to our AI agent, so it can process the thing easier. The token users will be less, and overall the process is more efficient in this way. So as usual, I have the code ready. Guys, you shouldn't fear the codes if you are from a no code background, because you can always take help of any chat models like ChatGPT, Gemini, or anything to your liking, and it will produce these codes in seconds. You just need to tell them and prompt them properly what you need and what you're trying to do, and it will provide everything. So guys, don't hate me because I told that this automation flow is a no code, a low code, because it's actually one. You don't have to code anything. You can get everything that we coded here from LLM models. Okay, all right. So this will generate a single array from the sorted leads. Done. Our sub workflow is done. Now, time for the final test, guys. Alright guys, before starting our test run, I forgot to do one small thing, which is if we come in the HTTP request node here and we're going to add a property here, which is the timeout property, and we are going to add 2 minutes of timeout. If you don't understand why all these zeros mean, it's in milliseconds, so essentially it's 120k milliseconds, which equals to 2 minutes of time. So what this will do, the agent will wait instead of just rushing everything and returning with half-ass scrape data, right? So it will wait for the scraper to scrape fully all the specified number of leads earlier, and it will wait at least 2 minutes, then it will return with the data. So it just adds a safety measure. All right, so we can save everything and we can finally move on to our test run. Okay, cool. So let's start, guys. Hey, hello, I'm here to help you find and organize business leads. What kind of businesses are you looking for, in what location, and about how many results would you like? So I can type something like, can you please find, let's say, 5 dentists in Austin. Of course, you can increase the number of leads. It will of course take more time for the scraping and more cost, definitely. So let's click on that and let's see what our agent does here. So as you can see, it has identified the user request for searching leads. It's using the lead finder tool. And as why we cannot see the flow here, because it's a sub workflow, and we click on executions later on, you can see how everything flowed from this lead finder tool to this node and later on. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to wait some time, as it takes some time. As you can see also the token counts here. If we didn't use all these code nodes here later on, the token counts would be much higher. So we are already successful on our mission. Oh, it has already returned. This time it only took about, where's the time? Okay, never mind. Let's read what it has sent to us. Okay, I found 5 dentist leads in Austin for you. Here they are ranked by their potential lead score from best to worst. So it has replied and organized everything neatly. At first we have Great Greens Dental with a lead score of 90 and phone, website and address details. The second, 12 Oaks Dental with a lead score of 90 and everything here. Cool. It has also provided a small tips on how to approach the leads. You can start reaching out to these leads in their order score. Consider personalizing your communication to make a strong first impression. Guys, the playground is you can do so much things here. You can add so many tools later on. You can save this data to your CRM or Google Sheets. You can also create personalized emails, cold emails if you are planning to send to these leads. You can also generate cold email templates. You can add those options through this, but through adding other tools here. So the opportunities are endless, guys. So yeah, our tool has worked just fine. Now let me quickly show you how the data has flowed in the sub workflow from here to here. If you click on executions here, and this was our last execution. If you click here, you can see the flow of data in our sub workflow here. Let's check each thing one by one. Why cannot we? Okay, so the trigger received the data from the lead finder tool in this format, automatically filled up by our agent. Dentists Austin, and the number of leads 5. Then moving on to our LLM agent, it received the JSON form in the data, and it returned the JSON output format in this fashion. Then we move on to the HTTP request node here. It took around 42 seconds to run. It received the content JSON and it replied with everything, with 5 dentists based in Austin. As you can see, with there's everything here. This is our first lead, this is our second lead, this is our third lead, fourth lead, fifth lead. Cool. After the HTTP request node replied with the leads, our lead scoring node with our JavaScript code took all this in and it just added, if we click in the table, this will be clear. Can't we? Let me just make it bigger, guys. So it just added. Oh, you cannot see everything. Switch to JSON. Alright, let me show you with JSON view. Okay, so at the last of our first lead here, let me just collapse everything at first, otherwise it's difficult to find. Yeah, now it will be easier to find. It just added a new column named lead score and assigned the lead score to every lead, and it's the same for the rest 4 of them. Cool. So that was our lead scoring node. Then if you come to the data trimming node, it took all that jumbled up JSON format data and replied with only polished versions, with only the name, phone, website, address, rating, reviews, lead score. Cool. So now it's looking clean. Then we move on to the sort leads. It took all these in and just ranked them in the descending order. So first we got 2 leads with a 90 score. 90 score is 80 here, then 80, then 80. Alright. Then after that, our last node here just put everything together in a single array. So yeah, that was pretty much the whole workflow, and I showed you how the data flowed from everything to the sub workflow and back to our agent, and our agent processed everything and returned with the fine output. Done. And there you have it, a powerful AI assistant for automating your Google Maps lead scraping. The journey into AI automation is always continuing, and there's so much potential to reshape and empower our businesses. So what do you think? Comment below. How is AI going to reshape and empower your business, or what kind of leads would you scrape with an agent like this? I'd love to hear your ideas. And if this video sparks some inspiration, please smash this like button. It helps the channel really. And if you want more AI explorations, more builds, more ways to how to use all these things in your business, make sure you subscribe for more. And finally, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to chat about AI. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's keep building.